the blitz coming. He saw it, recognized it, got the ball out of there, just didn't complete it.
Argos also without Dontrell Inman. A hamstring injury has him sidelined. Look out, John Bowman, and he's got a sack. John Bowman ends a drought, his first sack in 7 games. It's his 5th of the year.
Well, he comes around the edge on Andrew Jones because the Argos are going to go with the tight end set, and so they've widened the edge for him, and yet there goes Bowman around the corner and gets there, and this is just good work with his arms. Watch what he does with that right arm coming around the top, and that's to try and force a fumble on Jarius Jackson. Didn't get that, but he gets the sack, his 5th.
58th career sack for the veteran Bowman. 2nd in a bunch. And there's Owens with the catch, and Gerald Brown makes him pay.
And the guys talked about it before the kickoff. Matt Dunnigan and Chris Schultz talking about the importance of playing physical in this game and playing with that great intensity. They understand what's on the line here, a chance for first place in the division, and this is what he's talking about. This is what both those guys were talking about with Chad Owens coming out of the slot back spot, little out route, and coming downhill is halfback Gerald Brown.
So Prefontaine once again. Bowling is back. Heat is on. And the vet gets away another good one. Bowling at his 35, and Chad Ripple, the long snapper, down in a hurry to make the tackle. And
did that hurt?
Prefontaine, yeah, a little hobble on the veteran punter as he heads to the sidelines.
He partly looked to see if there was going to be roughing the kicker call, and then kind of limped off the sideline.
Said yesterday that not only was he cleared, they didn't think he could do any extra damage to the hip, but he was nicked somehow on that play.
Well, he does get his left foot down, back down to the ground before he's kind of rolled under. Foot's in the air, it's contact from the kicker.
Quiet start for Anthony Calvillo in the final minute of this first quarter. More pressure, got it away, and the block dropped it, and it's intercepted. Marcus Ball comes up with it. There is a flag down, and Calvillo's slow to get up. On the ricochet, Ball's got it. Will it stand? Marcus Ball had a
major foul, roughing the passer. Corner number 99. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Ron Clemens, that penalty takes the ball interception off the board.
Boy, and penalties have been an issue for this Argonaut football team. And one that I had a long conversation with Scott Milenovich about, that he is trying to curb this behavior. And let's take a look. He's coming off the top of your screen here. Ronald Flemings going to take a big defensive play off the board. I'm not sure how he could tell that the ball was out of there. He was fighting with his man, then grabbed Calvillo.
Cole Bowling on late in this offensive series, and Calvillo just gets it away to Victor Anderson across midfield. And down at the Argonaut 53-yard line.
Scott Milenovich said that he's not one to necessarily fine players. He thinks that, you know, he'd rather them keep their money, but that he is certainly sending a strong message about penalties. You look at their last 5 games, I mean, that's just way too many, averaging 141 yards per game. He said, we've got to shore that up. He's taking big plays off the board like that from Ronald Flemings, and the way he's doing it is by disciplining the players and sometimes even benching them if he has to.
Argos worst in the league. That was 2nd and 2, and not much there for Anderson on the final play of the quarter. Ricky Foley in on the stuff along with Armstead. We'll find out if the Alouettes got the first down when we come back. Well, there are the first quarter numbers, and pretty obvious the defense is dictating things early.
Yeah, and a little surprised, Montreal Alouettes, really a couple of 2-and-outs to start this football game. Good job by the Argos on defense, and they had potential for some big plays. I thought they really dominated that quarter, to be quite honest, and and had a chance offensively for a couple of big ones, and then that one play by Ronald Flemings has maybe turned this momentum.
A couple of 2-and-outs, it would have been a third, and Anthony Calvillo was very outspoken last week after the loss. Said this team was playing like a last place team. I think there was an expectation we'd see a fast Montreal start.
Yeah, you always feel that will happen with Anthony Calvillo at the helm, and certainly Mark Trestman coached teams. They script those first plays, and they've been very efficient with them. But again, credit this young defense. You know, they continue to gel. They didn't have a great game against Saskatchewan a week ago, but have bounced back nicely in this one. So we'll see if this momentum has switched sides.
I mentioned that it has been a late arriving crowd for this game. The reason for that, the streets of Toronto full of marathoners. The Toronto Waterfront Marathon clogging up some of the major arteries in the city. And we are told that even some of the Argos were late for the game. No problem for the Alouettes, who strolled over from their hotel just a few blocks away. But if the game is as physical as it was at the Spadina Street exit, we're going to have a terrific day.
Yeah, that was a 45-minute wait. I'm out at the airport. I was coming in. It was about 20 minutes to get in, and then on the exit about an hour. But they got everybody here in what is a very, very important game for both these teams to try and take a run at that first place bye. One game away from the 100th Grey Cup Championship right here in Toronto.
Alouettes were short third and just under a yard. There's McPherson. If the Argos do get back on side. Long count here, and now McPherson plunging. Kowali went over the top, but I think McPherson gets underneath him for the first down.
Interesting. Mark Trestman had to have been able to take a good long look at how the Argos played that short yardage play with McPherson. That long count really showed their hand, and then Jamel Richardson, right after the quarterback sneak, looked up and said, you know, we could throw one deep here. I wonder if they talk about that on the sideline. Chris Jones getting guys fired up on that defensive side of the ball for the Argos.
Back in. First and 10 at the Argo 50 as the Alouettes reset and hand the ball off. Anderson looking for a hole, and Robert McCune, the middle linebacker, will bring him down. Anderson falling forward for 5.
Sure, you've heard Jamel Richardson was very outspoken about wanting to see the football a lot more. Just 3 catches a week ago against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He'd like to see the ball more, and I asked Mark Trestman about it. I said, you know, what do you do? I know you're a team first guy always. And he said, you know what, as an offensive coordinator and offensive coach, been dealing with this kind of thing for many years. And he said, I'm more upset than Jamel Richardson.
Maybe looking that way there, but Calvillo doesn't pull the trigger, and now will throw it away, and Richardson shows his frustration. Calvillo wanted him that time, but couldn't get him the ball.
Well, he couldn't because he was rolling to his left and couldn't get his body around to get it there. But Jamel Richardson did finally work his way open, and then is really frustrated here, working on TJ Williams on the crosser, not getting it initially. Now he's in behind coverage, waving. And when I asked Trestman about it, and he said, look, I'm more upset than Jamel Richardson. He's a great team guy. He works hard in practice. I'm not worried about him at all. I'm more upset because it's in our club's best interest to get Jamel Richardson the football.
12 100-yard games last year for Richardson. He still looks for his first this season. White, the angling punt, and he does not get the corner, just missed it. And it will be a rouge, a single point for Sean White, who missed the pylon by a yard. Well, the Grey Cup train is in Atlantic Canada. This is the Alouette fan train that pulled into Union Station at around noon today. With more, here's Catherine.
Well, Chris, almost 400 fans from Montreal took that train here to Toronto today. The reason is they didn't have a home CFL game that was the pink game, so they decided they wanted to bring a little bit of Montreal here to Toronto. Besides the game, as you can see all in their pink gear, the special thing for these fans, besides being here and watching the game, is that on the way home, they will have a meet and greet with all of the players who will take that train back to Montreal with them.
Very cool. That's an awesome little road trip.
Becoming an annual event last couple of years in Hamilton. Here's Jarius Jackson, pressure on, gets it to Bradwell in the flat end. The McMaster product has a first down up beyond the 45-yard line.
Jarius Jackson has had to hang in there and take some hits early in this game, and you wonder how that wears down a quarterback as the game goes on. And getting outside, there's another hit. I counted 3 or 4 already after just 1 quarter.
5th completion for Jackson. Up to 91 yards through the air for the Argos. Rambo in motion. And the inside handoff. Gerald Riggs stacked up, not going anywhere. Marc-Olivier Brouillette leading the charge.
Take a look at the way that Jeff Reinbold is running this defense. He's got his safety, Kyrus Hebert, down low, and he'll do that quite often, probably in 40, 50 plays, maybe 12 to 15 times. He'll bring his safety down, and then he's either blitzing or dropping underneath to give Jarius Jackson a different look.
Trying to shore up a defense that surrendered 95 points in the last 3 weeks. Second and long, and Jackson's going long, and Jason Barnes was well covered by Dwight Anderson. There is a flag on the play.
It's a late flag, and
Prior to the pass being thrown, physical contact on the receiver. Montreal number 39. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty on Gerald Brown, defensive halfback.
wondering what the problem was. Said illegal contact on a receiver, maybe got his hands up in the face of his receiver that he was covering in a press technique.
Mentioned the 95 points in the last 3 games. In the last 2 games, the offensive player of the week has been the quarterback that has faced this Alouette defense, Henry Burris and Joey Elliott. A little slant pass and a completion to Jason Barnes. Back in the lineup. Was cut, put on the practice roster, but without Dontrell Inman, Barnes gets another chance to make an impact on this Argo offense.
A big catch on the slant. Knows he's going to get hit over the middle here. I had a good conversation with a couple of the Montreal Alouettes defenders and guys in the secondary. Kyrus Hebert, talked to Dwight Anderson and Gerald Brown and asked them if they were real comfortable and happy with this defense. They like it. They really like it. It's been tough to learn, and there's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts, but he said that once they get it, they really like this defense.
There's Dury out of the backfield, and Chip Cox and Seth Williams there. They're trying to rip that ball out, but Dury secures it and has another Argo first down. John Bowman steamed. He thought he was being held by Chris Van Zyl.
More efficient game by Jackson, and he's in his drops. It seems like he's a little more disciplined in those drops from the shotgun.
Well, efficient was a word we heard a lot yesterday from Scott Milanovich about Jarius Jackson. And Jackson mentioned that his drops were too deep against Saskatchewan, and it was allowing the rush to get to him a little easier. Fake to Riggs, and now they shovel it to him, and look at the Alouettes converge. Hebert, the safety, Shea Emery, the middle linebacker, there in a heartbeat.
That's what you get with a guy like Kyrus Hebert, who, if I'm voting today for All-Stars out of the East at the safety position, this guy is going to get my vote because of the way he's been an impact player on defense. But as we mentioned off the top, Kyrus Hebert is also leading the league in special teams tackles, and I can't tell you how hard that is. That he is covering kicks and then lining up on defense and making an impact.
Second and almost a full 10. Jackson hit as he got it away, but Bradwell has it, and Bradwell is going to have the first down. Clutch pass and catch for the Argos.
Good game plan for Toronto. They're starting to get the offense moving, a little bit of traction here because they recognize something that Montreal likes to do a little bit, and that's to drop John Bowman and try and confuse the quarterback. He'll move to the middle, then he drops back into coverage. but recognized by Jarius Jackson, gets the ball outside to Bradwell and moves the chains.
Chip Cox with pressure off the edge, and had the drop in deeper, Cox might have got there. And so Jarius Jackson heats up. Had a 94-yard touchdown drive last week against Saskatchewan, putting a good one together here, trying to cap it. There's a pass for Owens. He's got it. Flying down. Owens, touchdown. Let's find out if it'll stand. It's coming back. Holding Argos will take this touchdown off the board.
Holding. Corner number 21.
Yeah, Gerald Riggs. He was picking up linebacker Marc-Olivier Brouillette, and they were in a real battle right in front of Jarius Jackson, and there was a couple of, I wasn't sure if it was going to be called against Riggs on the hold or Brouillette on the fact that he ripped his helmet off at the end. You can see him get up high, turns him around, and then loses his helmet there. Actually, Brouillette didn't really get his hand on it, so no question holding, because as soon as you turn around a defender like that, they're going to call it.
First and 20. Jackson stands in, wants Owens again, and Gerald Brown in his hip pocket. Good cover by the 4-year vet.
Let's think about 2 penalties now that have really hurt the Argonauts here. One being that Ronald Fleming's late hit, which was a questionable one, but the roughing the passer call that took an interception off the board. And then a holding by Gerald Riggs offensively that takes a touchdown off the board.
Still doing a slow burn about that penalty as the Argos look at their 10th play of the drive. Here comes the heat, and they dump it off to Dury. Andre Dury cut back and still going into the open field, and this will be an Argonaut touchdown.
Will go over to Andre Dury right now and thank him for bailing him out, getting that ball in the end zone. And again, patience and recognition from Jarius Jackson. Blitz coming, and I'm talking full blitz. 2 linebackers up the middle, 3. He waits, retreats a little bit to get it to Andre Dury, and look what he does with it after. Great cutback against the flow.
Scott Milanovich has often said, with Andre Dury, you don't have to throw it 25 yards for him to get 25. There's a 24-yard touchdown that covered a lot of territory.
When healthy, always in the top 5 in that yards after catch category.
Lazy Waters handling the place kicking with the cast on his left thumb. It's good, and the Argos open up the lead.